Hello guys, and welcome back to Getting Started with LabVIEW. And today we will look into creating a timer using the datetime function. In the previous example in part 1, we actually look into how to get the date and also the time string from the datetime function. And in today's example, we will use this API here, which is the date and time function, to get the to create a simple timer function. Now to do this, we need to understand how to actually get the seconds that is actually running here. Now we know that the current time, which is the output of the datetime function, is actually a timestamp, and what we need to do is we need to convert this timestamps into milliseconds. So to do that, we actually need to use the convert to double precision float. And if we link the timestamp here, we will actually get an value which is actually probably thousands of milliseconds. If you run this, then you can actually see it actually returns a number here, and this number will continue to increase as the time passes by. Now using this concept, we will try to get the difference between two datetime function to generate the seconds. And to do this, we actually need to initialize one datetime second outside of a while loop, and we need to get the other datetime second generating a new value of seconds. So we will actually use those two difference of these two functions to generate the seconds. So to do that, let us first try to get a while loop here. We will have a first while loop here, and what I need to do, I need to place this datetime function, so this will be continuously generating new seconds value, which we'll use as a difference to calculate the difference between two datetime seconds. So first, what we need to do, we need to initialize this as the first variable of a datetime second here, and we need to convert this into seconds. And now what is going to happen here is that I want this time to continuously flow within the loop, and this is possible when we try to use this as a shift register. So this will be continuously generating from this API, this function here, and this will be having new value which is much more higher value than the value being generated here, and we need to get the difference between the two value here. So now if I try to get the difference between the two value and create the indicator, now what is going to happen here is that when I run this code, we will get the exact seconds value, and this is actually how we actually can get seconds value in LabVIEW. So this can be a good example where we can use this as a time up function, like a count up timer function, and we can even use this as a logical value. If let's say we want to set when the value is actually passed a certain value, let's say if I put this as time limit here as the numerical value, let's say the time, once it has actually exceed a certain time, then we stop the loop. So let's say if it is greater, this time is actually greater than the time limit that we have actually set, and when it will return a true value and stop the while loop. So let's try this. So we can see here, and probably we create an indicator here to show the value here if this is greater than this. So let's set this to 5 seconds, and if you run this, the timer slowly increases, and once it hit the 5th second, the loop will actually stop. So this is one good example. We can actually use this to generate second, and not only that, we can also implement logics. Now what if I want to create a countdown timer? So this is a count up timer and this is a countdown timer. So to create a countdown timer, the only thing that you need to do is just simply reverse the value that is actually being used to subtract. But what is going to happen here is that you will get a negative value here. So let's try this. This is the count up value. Oops, sorry. Let's try to remove this. and let's put here a true constant. So let's try to run this. Now you see that you will actually get a negative value here. That is because it is just simply subtracting the value from the other side. So let's say if I want to set this as a count down value, so I need to add a value to the difference here. So if I have any value that is larger than this, it will eventually decreases until it hits probably 0 or negative. So let's say I want to put in here countdown value, and I want this to be 5 seconds as well, 5 seconds, and I want this value to actually add. So we press add, and next is if let's say the value hits 0, then it should actually stop the value. So let's say if it is less than 0, then it should stop the loop. And let's create an indicator to show that this value is actually, this is not a control. Let's create an indicator to show that this value was actually stopped. So you can see this is the count up, count down value, and now we run this 5 seconds, counting up, counting down. Probably you are seeing here, but we need to show the actual countdown here. Now this is the actual countdown value that we need to see, so I can remove this. And we clean up here, and now if we run, you can see the value slowly decreases from 5 to 0, and once it hits the value less than 0, the loop actually stops. So this is this is a good method of how we can actually get the difference between two datetime functions to generate the seconds, and we can actually use the seconds by a simple logic to create a count up timer and a count down timer in LabVIEW.